were a Samaritan, and you were newly converted, what would you make of all of this? How would you understand all of this? How many of you have been going to church all of your lives? And how many of you understand it now? The Samaritans, newly converted. For us to have an expectation that they have any clue about what's going on, that they have any notion that what Philip is doing is different from what Simon was doing, is ridiculous. Simon was known as great and powerful among the people, and he healed people. Philip, great and powerful among the people, and he healed people. The Samaritans have no notion, really, of any difference between these two, because the end result for them is the same. Fix me, cure me, heal me, release me from unclean spirits. The two are doing the same thing. It's just given a different name. That's how the Samaritans see it. That's how they understand it. And that's how Simon, who has to be forgiven, understands this. He comes from a long line of people who work in magic. Magic is something that has been known for centuries throughout the Greco-Roman world. And you needed to have tools for it. You used herbs, and you even had wands, some of them, and they had amulets. All sorts of things were used to perform these cures and these healings for people. So when Simon approaches Simon Peter and John and says, "Could I buy this? Could I buy this?" He's only looking for that thing to add to his magician's kit. He's only looking for that thing to make the work that he does for human beings more powerful. Now, there are many who will argue with me. There are many who will say he was only trying to make himself more powerful, to make himself like God. I just don't think that people understood. I don't think perhaps he understood what he was asking, because it was part of his life. I need that for my work. Tell me how I can get that for my work. I'll buy that for my work. I'll get that for my work. It'll help me in my work. And Simon Peter says, your heart is not in the right place. And I hope that all of the people who were around Simon the magician on that day heard what Peter said. Your heart is not in the right place. You're putting a shoebox under your bed, hoping that God will pour gold into it. You're looking for magic, but magic is not what this is about. There is no magic in belief, in faith. Magicians, the definition of magicians, are those who try to control the power of the cosmos to affect things here on earth, to make things happen on earth. And there is no doubt that there were people who said Jesus was a magician. There is no doubt that people called Jesus a magician because of the things that he did. It was very familiar. What we are trying to learn from this passage today, and what Simon learned from this passage today, was that faith is about what happens to us from the inside out. When we receive the Holy Spirit, when we connect with God's Holy Spirit, everything within us, inside us, begins to work its change on who we are. So what happens is from the inside out, not from the outside in. When we say, pour your Holy Spirit upon us, gracious God, we are asking not to be changed on the outside, the most important part of this story is that Simon the magician turned to Simon Peter and said, "Pray for me. Pray for me, that it will not be as you have said, that I will not be one of wickedness, that I will be one of goodness. Pray for me, that my life will be changed from the inside out, and I will be a man of repentant heart. Pray that I will be forgiven my ignorance and my stupidity." That is what the story is so much about. And it's what the Holy Spirit is about for us. We don't think about the Holy Spirit coming to us through being touched by apostles today. We believe that the Holy Spirit comes because we ask for the Holy Spirit to be part of our lives. We ask for the Holy Spirit to be part of our lives every day, our constant companion and counselor. That constant companion and counselor is there for you, working always to change you from the inside out, knowing that that is where the triumph of your life will be, not from anything that comes from the outside.